Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you exactly how I made this roller here. It fits both this mower and this mower, and it takes less than 30 seconds to swap it over from each one to the other one. That way everyone can have an option that works for them, as opposed to one of the big long kits that specifically work for one mower and one mower only. They're also like $300 to $400. They don't even make one for older mowers like this. So let me show you how I did that, how I measured everything, how to assemble this. Granted, this is not the most cheap kit on the market. It's still fairly expensive, but it's fully serviceable, fully adjustable, and can work for basically any mower, as you can see here. So our first step we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out exactly what we have to work with. So I have a 38-inch deck that basically is not much wider than my tire tracks. So that's what allowed me to make this work for both the 38-inch rod mower as well as the 21-inch push mower. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see, so down here, I know not every mower is the exact same. So for my mower, I had these holes right here, and you can get your hand behind them and fully access these holes. And they're on both sides in the exact same spot. These are a 3/8 hole, so I was able to use those. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tape measure, and I'm going to basically find out how wide I want this roller. I know my push mower is only 21 inches wide. So for me, yeah, I could have made it, 28 inches wide, but my tires already roll down the grass very well, because obviously a mower is very heavy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find where we want this roller to stop. And 21 inches for me basically goes from tire to tire, as you can see. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna cut a piece of 4-inch PVC pipe that I will link in the description. I got it from Lowe's, but you can order it from Amazon or wherever. That's the first step in this process, is cut a piece of 4-inch PVC pipe to the length that you need. So now we have our 21-inch piece of PVC cut. I have both of my end caps put on there, which are Odie 33403 expansion plugs. The reason I use these as opposed to most people use glue-on style caps is because that glue-on style cap makes, obviously the pipe, it'll have a piece on each end that is wider than the pipe, so therefore the middle of the pipe's not even rolling across the ground. So it really makes, it doesn't work as good as something like this. Also, these expansion caps, they use a 3/8 by 16 carriage bolt that goes through it. So you screw this wing nut down, which expands this cap to the pipe. That allows me to then take a 3/8 by 16 coupling nut, which is used for things like all thread, and you screw this on all the way, get it nice and tight with the wrench, whatever you have. And so from there, I will then put an angle bracket. It will bolt directly to this, like this. And I can set the camera down and I will show you guys exactly how this looks when it's fully assembled. So I now have my corner brackets installed, which are going to be a 80/20 branded 4115 corner mount, which are $6.30 a piece. And for just this, we will need 2 of those. Now what you will have to do is, the normal from the factory, the corner bracket will have basically 2 holes on this side, one here, and it'll have this hole here, this one here, as well as another one. What you will have to do is you will have to chop off the second hole on this end, because we will not need it. You only need 1 bolt here. And if you had 2, it would interfere with the pipe, which obviously wouldn't work. So also you will have to drill out this hole right here. From the factory, it normally comes at a 1/4 inch or a 5/16 bolt. We will need to drill this hole out here to a 3/8 hole, which will allow us to put in a 3/8 bolt into this coupling nut. And you're going to want to put some Loctite on this bolt, because you don't want to tighten it up super tight and lock this up here, because this is where this roller rolls at. This is what allows it to do that. So for me, I just use some red Loctite, which is what I had on hand. You can use blue, whatever, it doesn't matter. Now from here, since we know this pipe is 21 inches wide, plus obviously the length here, we're gonna use 80/20/10/10, which is the brand of this right here. This is 80/20. It's just a channeled strut, whatever you wanna call it. Now this is gonna be custom to how long your roller is. So for mine, I have a 21-inch roller here. I'm gonna wanna use a 25-inch piece of 80/20 here. Now what this piece here allows us to do is it allows us to use T-nuts, which I can show you. They're just little nuts here like this that slide into this track, and will basically, once you tighten down the bolts, it will lock to this track. It won't be able to slide back and forth. It will stay where it is. So I'm gonna get this installed onto here, and I'll come back to you. Now our corner brackets are installed to this 10/10 strut here. As you can see, I use some washers to space out the distance between the pipe and the rail, just in case, you know, this picks up a rock or something, it doesn't wedge in between here and cause a lot of issues. So now I'm going to take this piece. As you can see, it rolls like this here. Basically at each side of it, it rolls. So I'm going to bring it over here to my mower. I'm then going to look at it and basically see the distance that I want between everything. So, you know, I'm gonna want a little bit of clearance on my tires. And so I'm gonna attach this strut here with a bracket and a piece of 1.5" aluminum angle to these holes here. So I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like for me. I believe it's an 11-inch piece that I have sitting right here. So here's this angle bracket. It goes up here to the hole where I drilled a 3/8 hole to match what is already from on the John Deere from the factory. And it's gonna bolt directly onto this bracket like this. So I'll have to do that for each side. I'll have one here, have one here. And these brackets right here are just corner brackets from 80/20 brand. Or sorry, they're 90-degree brackets that are 4081, which are $10.18 a piece. Now, instead of using these brackets, if you wanted to, you could basically get rid of this angle bracket here that you can see. Basically, is like this. Now these are T-nuts as well, and you could drill 2 holes in this piece of aluminum angle, and basically just put 2 nuts in here, 2 bolts here, and that will keep it from pivoting this way, just like this bracket does. I decided to use the brackets because I have those at my disposal, more or less. So that's what works for me, but these brackets are also very expensive. So there is options to make this cheaper. I use what was best for me, what worked for me. So I'm gonna install these 2 brackets, which basically are just bolted to this piece of aluminum angle iron. This is 1.5" by 1.5" angle, aluminum angle, that I have a 3/8 hole in up here. And I will get these installed in here and I will show you guys. Okay, so we now have the aluminum angle bolted to the bracket here and these 2 holes here, which then I have the aluminum bracket bolted directly to the 10/10, which is the strut. I'll then take these bolts here that I basically turn into hitch pins. Now I will link actual hitch pins that, you know, you don't have to drill a hole in. I have access to a mill, so I can do this. A lot of people don't, so I will link that in the description. Now what I'm gonna do is, for me, it's easiest. I would prefer, you know, to stick this pin in from the back side. So to do that, I'm just gonna stick it into the back. Okay, see it comes out here. And I'm gonna take this here and slide it on to the pin. Now it's gonna take me 2 hands to do this, so I don't know if I'll be able to record it. But I run a washer right here on this pin, like this. You don't have to do this. I did this so the aluminum bracket here doesn't just destroy everything here, because it will rub the paint off, obviously. It's the moving part. So instead I put this washer on there, which you can see basically isolates all the movement of this whole roller to just this small area, and it doesn't just scratch up everything. So I'm gonna get this put on. I just use some hitch pin clips that just clip into these holes here, and it basically allows it doesn't move side to side because these brackets hold everything in place. So the width of this never changes. It can't slide back and forth. The only thing this being loose allows it to do is pivot up and down. And I'll show you guys what that looks like here in a second. So now the roller is fully assembled. So you can see, I just have these pin clips going in here to my hitch pins. Going down to the roller, I have plenty of clearance here to my tires. The roller obviously is now able to pivot. So I can basically pick this whole roller up. Depending on, like, if you're going down a hill, up a hill, you hit a bump, whatever, it doesn't matter. It can fully go over it. So now I can go ahead and use this, but if I want to be able to put it on my push mower, I'm gonna basically need to make something that is as wide as this, you know, because this clips onto here very easily. I'm then gonna measure this, and I'm gonna find a way to put a bracket onto this mower, which for me, I was able to use another piece of 80/20 10/10, and I already had holes on each side of the handlebars. Now I then through bolted it to this 80/20 using T-nuts and 5/16 bolts. I'm gonna link 1/4-inch ones because it's probably more universal. I had to slightly drill out the holes that were already in the handles. I didn't really like that, so I'm gonna link 1/4-inch ones. I then took another piece, more angle brackets or corner brackets, which I'll link in the description as well. Everything will be linked in the description, including the brands, where I got things, different options, so everybody can try to make work what I did. I then bolted it here using T-nuts as well, and now I have more 3/8 holes right here to make work, and use the same pins, and this is basically the same width here as the John Deere is, allowing it to easily interchange. So I'm gonna swap it from there to here, show you guys exactly what that looks like. So I now have it bolted to my push mower, pinned in to my push mower. As you can see, I didn't have to loosen these bolts, change them, nothing. All I did was basically pull this pin out here, and that allowed me to pull out this hitch pin here. Now, the washers are loose, yes, because they're just there for looks, more or less. Basically, in case something happens, it won't just fall off. But generally, this thing can't move back side to side because it's bolted here, which basically allows it to it won't go either way. It'll just stay where it is. Now, this doesn't really affect anything at all. You know, I can take this mower, do whatever I want with it. Typically what I will do is I will make my boundary pass around my yard without it on. That way I don't have to worry about anything. I don't really want to stripe up just the outside of my yard. So then I will take this and I'll put it on, and then I'll make my stripes. And it doesn't affect anything at all. I just go, I'm able to turn, you know, just like I was before, and come back the other way. Obviously, the reason I didn't like a lot of the other ones on the market is they use a single point down here to attach the roller to the frame, which then allows the roller to, instead of being this way and staying with your mower, it'll pivot. Now that would be a pain to do backing up. I'm sure they get caught all the time and, you know, come into your tire. I didn't like that. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I made this. I don't even notice it's there most of the time. Yes, I'm sure it probably adds a little bit of resistance, but this isn't even a self-propelled push mower. It's just a normal, you have to push this by hand. I don't use it for a lot of my yard. I have a very small section I'll use it for, because I don't want to use the big mower and turn constantly, because it's not very wide. It's a very small portion of my yard. So now I'm going to put this back onto here. It kind of showed me driving around with it and showing that it doesn't affect anything at all. I don't even notice it's back there. I don't even think about it being back there, because it's properly designed, just like the big long kits, the big league long kits. But this is a lot more affordable. I believe it cost me somewhere between $100 to $150 to do it. Like I was explaining, there's plenty of ways that you can change this, make it work better for you. It's fully adjustable. I have sand in here now. If I wanted to put gravel, if I wanted to put concrete, whatever, I could do that extremely easily. You know, if this pipe breaks, I can go to Lowe's, I can order one off Amazon, I can get it, you know, same day, and just replace it as easy as I put it on. All these bolts are a lot sturdier than a lot of the ones you'll see on kits. These brackets won't ever bend. They're extremely stout, which compared to a lot of the ones that people sell, they're very chancy, they're very cheap metal. This is all aluminum, it's not gonna rust. It's just extremely sturdy and well built. So now I'm gonna show you guys me putting it on the John Deere, driving it around, kind of showing you how it works. I can't mow today, unfortunately, because of the amount of rain we've had, but I'll drive around my driveway, kind of show you guys. I drive it on asphalt all the time. It doesn't care. If something breaks, I can fix it as easy as I put it on. So let me show you guys that now. You can see it doesn't affect my turning one bit. It's very easy to use. I don't notice it back there. I can back up, do whatever I want, don't have to worry about it. So then again, this is 80/20 brand railing here with 80/20 branded brackets. I will put in the description all the part numbers of what I use. Again, this channel here, the pipe, the angle, aluminum angle, will all be specific links to your mower. I can't tell you what they are, but I can give you a general idea of what I used. I believe this is 11 inches of aluminum angle here. This is 25 inches of railing here and a 21-inch roller. Over here, I used a 22-inch piece of 80/20 10/10 to make this one work, along with two corner brackets. Now I'm gonna put everything I can in the description of what parts I use. You can get them from Amazon. 8020.net is where most of this stuff came from. The roller you can get itself from Lowe's. You can get the caps from Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever. You can also order it on Amazon. I'm gonna leave everything in the description for you to be able to make this work. So thanks for watching. Also, if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, I am in Robertson County in Tennessee. I will make one of these for you if you're able to bring me your mower, but I can't tell you what size of everything you need because I don't have 500 mowers. I have this mower, and that's it. I might have some other ones some friends and stuff that want me to build them one as well. So if I do, I'll post those videos as well of what specific size of stuff I use for them, just to help give you guys a general idea. So thank you for watching. I appreciate all the interest, and I'll leave y'all with this. Thank you.